Hey everybody, welcome to episode 100 of the Arizona Cardinals rebuild franchise. Now, before the episode truly gets underway, I found out in editing here that the microphone quality, for whatever reason, was not very good for this video. It's usable, but it's not what you're used to. Great timing here in episode 100 too, but hopefully you enjoy the episode anyway. It's a big one and a fun one, so stick around. Welcome back everybody. We've made it to the 100th episode of the Arizona Cardinals Madden 19 rebuild franchise. Thank you for joining me on this journey. It's been a really fun one with this team to make it all the way to 2031 and still have a lot that we want to do and a lot to see before Madden 20 comes out. Thank you all for the continued support on this series, and this format has become my favorite content to create. I love this series and the Brown series that inspired it. I think I'm getting the franchise experience that I've been looking for quite some time, to get attached to a team and go through not just seasons but decades and really get some careers done for some of these players. Now today we're going to finish the 2031 regular season, and I'm hoping there's a game at the end of the year that we can watch. We didn't watch an episode last episode. Some of you really enjoyed that because it allowed us to make some more progress. But if we could sim everything until week 17 and have this game be important, I will jam the Bengals game into this episode. Now, after reading the feedback on last episode, there was one thing many of you wanted, and that is to actually see Jason Lemon get traded. This is a really good draft class we have upcoming, and it's one where you want as many picks as possible. I already picture us moving up with our second round pick to try to make this a multiple first round selecting season. There are great receivers, corners, offensive linemen, multiple tight ends with great receiving upside. This is maybe the dream class for the series in terms of overall talent. We have a number of impact players who are set to become free agents after this season is over, and we're already taking a step back without Walker Onobun and Trenton Barton on the team. So some of you think it's time to just sell as much as we can, stockpile picks, and build a new core for the future of the series. And I totally see that reasoning. A lot of you want to see Lemon traded, however, and I do have a couple issues with that. One being that Lemon has outperformed Duran Samuda quite a bit. I'm still going to try entertaining some offers today to see what Lemon is worth on the market, but there's also the possibility that we could tag and trade him later. Right now, I'm already thinking of Duran Samuda as the running back for next year. However, that's solely based on ratings and not really based on on-field production. Jason Lemon gets the ball a lot more than Samuda, so this sample size isn't perfect, but for Samuda, he averages a full yard less per carry than Jason Lemon. He does have a 3-touchdown game this season, and receiving, we have seen Lemon continue to do that well throughout the series. Samuda did well in the preseason. Duran Samuda had a really good preseason this year, and I think that's kind of accelerated the idea of getting him to the starting job. Thanks to him making the Pro Bowl last year and getting the development boost, he all of a sudden has a chance to become a pretty high overall running back. He's already the number 12 guy. And there are skills here that I think will make him that running back in the future. I plan to make him our starter as late as next season, but do we trade Jason Lemon today to accelerate the process, especially if we're not going to be as good of a team this year? Now, the 4-2 start has been a little strange. Part of me thinks we can make a run. Part of me thinks that we're just too inconsistent to be sure, and the defense certainly needs a boost after losing Trenton Barton. They've only put together one good performance all season in 6 games. And I talked about last episode, I wished I knew what would happen in our 7th game for a better idea. Well, I totally overlooked that it's against the Bears, and we're probably going to lose that game. So I'm looking at us as a 4-3 team right now. As I scroll through some teams here, very few need a running back, and there are only a handful that have high interest, and I prefer to trade to the opposite conference, so Tennessee's a possibility, the Texans as well. The Broncos, Browns, and Colts also have high interest, so there are plenty of teams. I think if it were solely up to me in this scenario, I would not trade Jason Lemon. But I'm thinking, I messed up the offseason. I shouldn't have done the Trenton Barton trade. The resounding majority of you in the comments wanted to see Jason Lemon be dealt. I think I'm going to give you guys the power on this one, but at the same time say that this is not the move that I would make personally. I'll entertain it anyway. I'm not going to trade him for a 4th round pick. I'm not even sure if I'll trade him for a 3rd round pick. This is just to kind of gauge what we could get for Jason Lemon. I know I'm not getting a 1 and a 2. There's only one way to see interest, and that's to offer too much to not get a deal done. Some teams are going to look at this differently. The Broncos' interest meter went to about the end of the NFL draft logo. The Browns have no interest. You can forget about the Colts here. They're just too bad right now. Their picks are valuable. Jacksonville, we could consider trading with them. Not as much interest as Denver. The Titans actually have some of the most interest in Jason Lemon. Especially if we can get a 1st round pick, I think I'm okay with the trade. I think right now, I don't see us being a Super Bowl contending team, and that's the only thing we care about now in the series because we've already won 3 rings. Simply making it to the postseason with a 10-win record would be a failure. So you know what? I think that we can definitely get a deal done here. I can't believe we're trading Jason Lemon after all these years. A deal has been made. Jason Lemon has been dealt to the Tennessee Titans. I've now traded away starting quarterback Josh Rosen, Hall of Fame defensive end Joey Bosa, Trenton Barton, the top safety in the league, and now Jason Lemon, among others I've dealt in this series. I've done a lot more trading, and in this case, it's because I do see us needing a younger core to build around. We already have Lemon's replacement, so here we go. Lemon plus a 5 for a 1 and a 4. Now, I know I said before, this isn't the move I'd make. I didn't think this value would be there. I was thinking a 2nd round pick was the best we'd get, but a 1 and a 4 for Lemon and a 5, that is hard to pass on. And I know that if I didn't trade Lemon and then this season finished how I think it could, then it would be really bad for the future of the series. And I try to make decisions with a very future-oriented mindset. So when I traded Trenton Barton, it was premature. I shouldn't have done it. But part of it was because I knew we had to get younger to save money at certain spots. And Craig Starks was somebody who had starting potential. And if I waited too long, that potential would vanish. But ultimately, trying to trade Barton to get Walker Onobun was a big strikeout. And now I better understand what happens when you trade players with big guaranteed money. I'm still wondering how tag and trade works for the salary cap, because when I did the Rosen trade, that was when the cap didn't matter. If you have a quarterback on a rookie contract, the salary cap hardly applies to you. You basically get to play with whatever money you want. It's hard to reach the salary cap with a cheap quarterback. So I couldn't tell you if trading Josh Rosen gave us a big cap penalty back in year 5 of the series. All I wanted was the pick and Joey Bosa. But this is part of why I really enjoy keeping you guys a part of the series, because I don't want it to just feel like you're watching my team. I try to incorporate your influence, and I think that a lot of your influence does get through to me. And sometimes I'm just not thinking about certain things, and doing all these series as well that I do, it's kind of nice to have a little influence just to kind of see what you guys think as well. So in this case especially, I don't think I would have traded Jason Lemon had you not had the outpouring support for his departure. But that really means Duron Samuta's got to begin to produce, and now in a 3-down, well, not quite 3-down capacity. He might get that. He's got to earn it first. Everett McKay is the better power back, so he's going to get some touches, and we'll see what kind of a season this turns into. we're still a pretty solid team. I mean, when you have a good quarterback, you always have a chance. And at the very least, you can find a running back pretty much anywhere, but you can't find first-round picks anywhere. And now we have 2 for next year, and I'm not so sure that we can't make that 3 by the time the draft rolls around. So with that being said, everybody, episode 100 is here, and we've got some work to do. Howard Iwabima is the veteran I am leaning towards keeping the most. His development, thanks in part to a bug, has given him basically a perfect skill set. He's athletic, he's strong, he can rush the passer with power and finesse and shed blocks. He's the #1 defensive tackle in our league. And I'm going to keep him a scheme fit here, hope for a strength boost actually, and I did not get it. But here's what Iwabima's done in his career. It would be very expensive to keep him, but we have to give that money to somebody, and we're starting to shed some salary. So this is what I might wait to the end, might tag, and keep. But we'll have to make a decision at some point. Gilbert Vaughn is signed, and I kind of thought he would be tradable, but then I checked his contract, and it's too good to trade. His value as a player compared to his salary, I think that we got an amazing deal, and I'll show you in a moment what I'm talking about. Roy Marpet just became a scheme fit. He got up to 91 overall without that, so that's pretty cool. Vaughn's salary cap hit this year is 6.6, and next year it's under 8. He's a 26-year-old 90 overall player. He's the #4 defensive tackle in our league. Now, he's not as good or complete as Howard Iwabima. However, his sack production is picking up. 2.5 already. I think he'll set a career high this year. Although we're not seeing him make as many tackles or run stops at all. That's kind of strange considering he's a full-time player. But I still think his ratings for his price are a bargain. And I'll upgrade the defensive tackle XP gain a bit here because I don't think the best should be 92 overall. It's been strange in this series, and part of it is because you start out with like Aaron Donald at 99 overall and other high-level players. So by the time you get to the future, if no players can fill in that gap, then you get the imbalance, but you don't see it for a while. Anyway, let's move on. Not a single one of you are going to believe this. We destroyed Chicago 31-6. How about that? Our best defensive performance of the season. Is trading Jason Lemon the wake-up call this team needs? 3 touchdowns for Unger. He only threw for 180 yards, but it's all he needed. We picked off Bryson Anthony twice. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and we held him to 4 yards an attempt. Duran Samuda, in his first start, gets 79 yards, 3.8 a carry. Everett McKay does score a touchdown. I did see McKay's carrying is a bit low. That was pointed out. I'm right now just kind of hoping it doesn't matter because fumbles are rare in this series. 2 touchdowns on the day for Brian Gutierrez, and Bradley Young found the end zone as well, surpassing his touchdown total of a season ago. He now has 4. Jarvis Salisbury, Deontay Wallace each get a sack, and a pick for Corey Holiday, and another one for Frank McFadden. So far, McFadden's done a good job stealing the football in his young career. That's a shocking result, though, and it gives us our 3rd straight victory. And I think now, getting that win, like I said, after 7 games, you have a much better idea. 5-2 versus 4-3. Let's go. Jamerson Williams earns another upgrade at tackle. He's already received 1 this season, and I think we should begin to focus a little more on the run blocking. Although, you never actually focus only on run blocking. It's just which attribute do you want to get better, and then it'll affect both pass and run. So that's the only balanced way to do it. Not sure why there isn't a run block archetype. Doesn't make sense to me. But I think we will go with the finesse today. That's his weakest trait right now. And Williams gets the boost to awareness. A little run block there, so no real pass block boost from that. Ollie Kitchens will be a free agent after this year, and I think he's become even more valuable on the team, losing Walker Onobun. He can do a lot. He's a special tight end, and I would like to keep him. One thing he does really well is score touchdowns, and you never want to get rid of players that can do that consistently. Center Devin Brasil is an 84 overall and gets a little pass block boost today at 30 years old. The Cardinals just keep winning. Now it's against the 6-1 Buccaneers, and we give them their second loss of the season. Unger 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Samuda just 2.5 yards a carry. We downgraded at running back, and I kind of knew we were. I think one of the toughest things is that we never actually saw Lemon play since his regression, so we haven't actually seen the skills decline. The numbers are down slightly, but it sucks trading him away. Sullivan got a sack, and we got an interception from Ahmad Burns. I think once we can turn that first round pick into somebody good for the future, then I'll be a little bit better with the move. It's still kind of a little uneasy, especially as we keep winning, knowing that we don't have our star tailback. Another thing that makes letting Howard Iwabima go be a bit more difficult is that it's just not a super deep defensive tackle class. No guarantee you can get one of the top guys to replace him, and plus you're not replacing his skill set regardless. Time to upgrade some defenders. That linebacker, it's Ahmad Burns, who has just been fantastic in his young 2.5-year career. A staple now of our defense, alongside the $60 man himself, Deontay Wallace. Last time he earned an upgrade, I gave him a speed rusher boost to get some speed, and we got him faster. Now, I'm not sure I'll do that again. I'm not going to get lucky twice with that, I don't think. We're going to go past coverage again. Keep the instincts as high as possible. And got some man cover there. We also have a decision to make on Marcus Sullivan. Do we keep him? To me, that depends on his sack production the rest of the season. I know that he's a good pass rusher. I do think he's solid. I know when we watched games a year ago, it felt like he was always generating pressure, getting close, not always closing. So he's going to have to come close to this number again if he wants that second deal here. We have gotten a deal done with Aaron Howell. I wasn't sure this would work, but we have signed him to a 2-year deal. Not the 1 year he was looking for. Aaron Howell will be staying in Arizona, and I gave him a little over the 10.1 per year. But I think he's still going to be a really good player for a while. He's about to get an upgrade, and I just don't want to have to worry every year about if we're going to lose our top corner. Howell gets interceptions every year. He's only had 1 year where he had less than 2. He's already gotten 3 this season, and he'll be a Cardinal for at least 2 more seasons. By the way, when I checked the cap space when I was doing that negotiation, it looks like we're going to have a lot for next year. For Iwabima, it's showing 44.8 a season from now. Obviously, with no Barton, no Onobun, it opens things up a lot. And obviously, no Lemon. We're going to have cheap running backs now for a while. Why don't we try to get a deal done here then? Ollie Kitchens will sign a 4-year extension with the Cardinals. And that's a bargain. Less than $6 million a year for a vertical field stretching tight end who's only 26. Feeling better about the future of this team already. Another win for Arizona. And we're still not playing the best defense, but the offense is producing. Behind J.W. Unger and 4 more touchdowns this week. We had a pretty nondescript rushing effort in this game. In the air, Kitchens celebrates his 4-year deal with 2 more touchdowns. Gutierrez found the end zone as well. And so did Tyree Williams, the undrafted tight end. You gotta love seeing that. 2 more sacks for Jarvis Salisbury, continuing an excellent season. Aaron Howell also had to celebrate his extension. I'm waiting on Iwabima to produce a little bit more, but I feel like I do need to keep him. Alright, this class does have a weakness. It's at pass rusher. It's just very thin. There are no left ends above a 4th round prospect. For right ends, Bronson Wolf hits value as a 2. And then at the outside linebacker spots, not till the 4th round for a pass rusher, and then A.J. White. It might just be a draft where there's only one good first-round rusher. And he's going to go pretty early off the board anyway, so I don't think that replacing Sullivan's going to be easy this upcoming year if we don't keep him. Hopefully the combines for these corners are better this season, because I'd really like to find another good one. Let's upgrade the rookie Joey Spencer. He's only a few points away from becoming a scheme fit, but I just don't think that's going to be the best route for him. I think instead trying to build up his possession and slot skill set to mimic Walker Onobuns a bit better is a good call, and we'll take the catching boost as well. He just needed that regardless. How has Spencer done so far? Not a ton of production. He's not a starter. So 25 catches, 266 yards. He does get a chance every game. Only one has really been a standout performance. Here's a good one. Craig Starks gets an upgrade, and he gets an awareness and coverage boost. Tyree Stevenson, you know, I kind of forgot about him. I wonder if he could potentially start next year. He's got to be on his rookie contract still. He's an 81 overall, 88 finesse moves. We have some numbers here to work off of at least. Just a couple sacks, not a ton of playing time for him. But it's not nothing either, just 2 sacks, but close to 900 snaps played. Aaron Howell up to an 89 overall, fighting back against regression. He's been fantastic throughout the series. Bradley Young's turn now. Let's go. I say we go deep threat. I want those big plays from Young. And the hands get a little better in this upgrade sequence. And then our quarterback, J.W. Unger. What a career he's having. Already on a Hall of Fame pace. And I'm going to give him the strong arm upgrade. I want to see him hit those big passes to Bradley Young. That's another victory for Arizona by 7. J-Dub, 3 touchdowns plus the interception. On the ground, Duran Samuda, 3.4 yards per carry. And in the air, Gutierrez again scores. Young for 73. Brackenridge, that might be his first Arizona touchdown. Hollier scored as well. We got some pass rush production. Chambers is there. Vaughn, Iwabima. Stevenson gets half. Split with Aaron Howell. I would have loved to see that play. And then a pick. Aaron Howell's going to keep racking those up. The 11 tackles, the half sack, and the interception give Aaron Howell another Player of the Week award. Here are some of the ones from weeks that we've been simming through in this episode. Sam Darnold is indeed starting in Philadelphia. They obviously saved a lot of money going down from Wentz to Darnold. Jarvis Salisbury is enjoying a fantastic year. We'll upgrade his pass rushing skills a little further. We get +2 power moves. I'd also like to name Salisbury a captain of this team after losing one of our captains in Walker Onobun. Not sure if Barton was listed at captain. I know Lemon certainly was, but it looks like he'll have a double-digit sack season once again. All right, Duran Samuda, we need that production now. Elusive upgrade, 87 overall. I think it was 87, 88 overall where Jason Lemon began to hit his peak, and we need him to do the same. And then it is corner Rashawn Baker, drafted a year ago, perhaps working his way closer to a starting job on this team. 5 ratings up, 2 tackle, 1 awareness, 1 zone coverage. Wouldn't shock me if he eventually becomes a mainstay in the secondary. There's our first loss in a while, 28-10 against Baltimore. Carson Wentz had a touchdown as the defense intercepted Unger twice, sacked him twice. Artavis Benson had 2 scores on the ground. Samuda just could not get going. He really hasn't had a great game yet. That's what we need right there, Joey Spencer. Over 100 yards on 9 catches, showing he can handle that volume. Unfortunately, a pretty down day for the offense, but their first in a while. We had a sack for Ahmad Burns, and the 2 interceptions went to Antoine Todd. Meanwhile, in Tennessee, they had a pretty decent start to the year, 3-1-1, but they've been extremely inconsistent as of late. 6-3. Unfortunately, I could not get tickets to this amazing football game. Jason Lemon had 49 yards in this one. In their latest game, Lemon only had 2.8 yards a carry, but at least found the end zone. But he did have a very good game against Atlanta with 111 yards and a touchdown. I attempted to sign Howard Iwabima, but he declined the first offer, obviously wanting a little more money. Despite being on the bench, Rashawn Morton has earned an upgrade. And I wonder if before too long we see both him and Williams become starters. Turner Dye has a year left on his deal after this season, but if I wanted to really focus on saving some money and getting younger, I could take the hit in overall and let the young tackle start. That's an option. A second loss in a row makes things interesting. Again, the defense is just not the same this year. Mayfield and Unger each had 3 touchdown passes. Bennett Wilkins 75 yards on the ground, as we did run the ball for a decent average with both tailbacks. Bradley Young went for over 100 and a score. Nice outings from our top 4 receivers. Just could not get it done. Samuda scored in the air. That's good to see. Deontay Wallace got to the quarterback. And for interceptions, just Maxie Hale, the rookie for Cleveland. So that 8-4 record keeps us in first place in the West, by the way, and it allows the Seahawks to gain some ground as our primary competition. There's a win as we defeat Atlanta, Arizona 21-16. 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in this game. We intercepted Paul Durr and sacked him 4 times. Samuda, a better average on the ground today. Great to see. Gutierrez, 98 yards on 9 receptions. We're not really seeing a lot of high yards per reception games, so oh well. We're still getting good yardage, I feel, overall for our passing game. Spencer scores. That might be his first career touchdown right there. Don't think he had one in the 100-yard game. And then for sacks, Wallace, Salisbury, Sullivan, and Howard Iwabima. Ahmad Burns, another interception for him. After slightly increasing the signing bonus a little bit, Howard Iwabima decides he no longer wants to negotiate. So I'll probably be forced to franchise tag him when the season ends. The awards just keep rolling in, by the way. Ahmad Burns had a pick 6 in week 14, but he also won the award back in week 12. The division belongs to us again after the overtime win over San Francisco. A lot of passing yards in this one for J.W. Unger, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. It does seem like his interception total has increased quite a bit over this latest stretch of games. Samuda, 4.8 on the ground. In the air, we again see Brian Gutierrez handle a lot of catches. Joey Spencer for 127 and 1. So we've really seen him step it up. In just like his last 3 games, I think he surpassed just about everything prior. Kitchens scored a touchdown as well. Brackenridge a couple catches on his former team. Earl Zohalier, I want to know his touchdown total at the end of this year. It's got to be at least 4 or 5. There we go. Gilbert Vaughn, 2 sacks. That's really impressive. Moses Humphrey, by the way, 2 picks against his old teammate J.W. Unger. It was an award for J.W. Unger this week, and I believe he got only his 2nd career rushing touchdown. Correction, it was actually his first and only in almost 7 years. Oh, I had no idea McKay had done so much in his career. He almost has 11,000 rushing yards. He might be the active leader in the department. At one time, he was among the best. Back-to-back 1,400-yard campaigns, and then a steep drop-off as his career has come to an end. He's indeed the active leader, but it might be changing hands between him and Barclay, depending on the week. Oh, Aaron Howell is the active leader in interceptions. Shakir Cosby is not that far behind. And Jarek Payne is actually the active leader in receiving yards, but I'm assuming Brackenridge was for most of this season. Frank McFadden is a good player, and he gets the football. That's what I like about him. I love turnovers. When I first began watching football, nothing was better than a defensive back taking the football from the other team. He has 5 in his career. A little bit less than I thought he had. And it's time to upgrade Gilbert Vaughn again. I want more sack production from the interior. We'll see if he can give it to us. And now we're trying to close out the year as strong as possible. 38-10, one of our best scores of the season. 3 touchdowns for J.W. Unger. Hunter Brennan is the new quarterback in Pittsburgh, by the way. A touchdown plus an interception from him. Running the ball, Samuda. That's a good performance. 94 yards, 2 touchdowns, broke a few tackles. Good, consistent efforts. And then receiving, Young scored twice. Kitchens, 38 yards. Joey Spencer scores again. Maybe we can get him at least one more upgrade before this year comes to an end. I'm starting to get a little excited to get on the field too. Like, I'm used to watching games and getting attached to players that way. And this season we haven't done that, but we're about to. It's our second upgrade, or maybe our third now this season, for Jamerson Williams. He does not get a boost in overall, but now we're going to go improve the power skills for him. And here's what his ratings look like now, nearly 2 seasons into his NFL career. So that brings us to week 17, Cincinnati just 6-9. How unfortunate. Russell Parks did turn his season around, though, from where we saw him earlier with 9 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. It's better, not as good as they were hoping in Cincinnati. Trey Richard, outstanding numbers here on the ground. 14 scores, 4.4 a carry. But despite a great offense, it seems, this team hasn't done much this season. Walker Onobun, 4 touchdowns, 929 yards, respectable numbers, but outshined by fellow 10th year player DeAndre House. For whatever reason, House has outperformed Onobun, over double the touchdowns, a lot more yards per reception. So a little disappointing there for Cincinnati. And given their offense and some of the playmakers they have, I'm a little surprised that they're not going to be a playoff team. I wonder if their defense is just horrible. Well, here are the worst offenses in the NFL, and that's actually sort by the best. Patriots score the most, then Chicago. We're up there at number 3. How about the Bengals? They're way up there. So it's definitely their defense that has held them back. Let's see those points allowed. The Patriots have like the best offense and best defense. Alright, so this series has seen New England get completely rebuilt then. Would be fun to see them in the Super Bowl if we can make it there. Let's see, points allowed. Bengals, second worst. So Onobun's not the reason they could not make the playoffs this year. They had 16 sacks. That's like Jarvis Salisbury plus a few. Do you guys like these huge episodes like this? I don't always want to make the episodes gigantic, but when I feel there's more to be done, especially in a milestone episode, we're going to let it roll. And despite already having a big episode today, we could sim this and be done. I'm not content. Not for episode 100. If it were like episode 103, we'd be over after simming this. But we're playing. I'll see you all on the field. Oh, and by the way, we're getting a first round bye. But we're playing for home field advantage right now. If we win, it's ours. Feels good to be back on the field here with Arizona. Our first game we've watched all year long. And Arizona starts on defense. And we're going to get some pressure to start the day from Jarvis Salisbury. As we know, this Bengals offense is one of the best in the NFL. Russell Parks is the quarterback, but their defense is just not strong. Here's Trey Richard meeting Deontay Wallace. Chicago won. That means we have to win if we want home field advantage throughout the postseason. That's a high-scoring game. That would have been a fun one to watch. 3rd and 9. Pressure again, and caught! Up to the 50. That is a 24-yard connection for Richard. 2 tight ends on the field for Cincinnati. And they're handing it off again, keeping Richard busy as he spins his way ahead. Walker Onobun, I believe, is top of the screen wearing number 17. 3rd and 3. Swing out. Whoa, not on the same page at all. Oh, they went for it and missed the 60. How unfortunate. It's our football at midfield. Let's go. Arizona's offense is out there with J.W. Unger. We have 2 tight ends on the field. Daron Samuda is the deep back. And we're going to open with a stretch. Samuda trying to get outside, but the edge is contained. Now from the 50, Samuda spinning, showing some of those elusive skills we hope he brings to the table for the foreseeable future. It's a 3rd and 5 now for Arizona. And Unger spins, and he's going to throw it outside on target for Young, and it's a 1st down. Oh, whoa. New York went 4-12 this season? That's confusing. Trenton Barton didn't help them whatsoever, but it felt like losing him made us worse. 1st and 10. We're going to toss it now. Samuda with the speed, but not enough of it. By the way, there are like 5 first-round running backs in this upcoming draft, and I've scouted some of them and some of the mid-round options. There are plenty of great elusive options for a second back, as Unger's going to air it out and connect. Young coming back for the football, hauls it in. Hope you all have enjoyed episode 100 today. Please leave your feedback below and a like if you're having a good time, as Samuda rumbles up the middle. Gain of 6. I've enjoyed making some of these larger episodes, though. I think it's fun. I know a lot of you get really excited when there's like a 40-minute episode, or the last one was like a 50. I'm not trying to make them as long as possible, but it might seem like that. Can't wait to see how long this one takes to render. Sometimes on these longer episodes, I render them in 720p because it's just a little less taxing, and especially if we're only in the menus. I did that all the time in the Browns series. Hope you don't mind that. It's a lot faster to render in 720p versus 1080 if I don't need it. But usually when I involve a game, I go 1080. But if this is like nearly an hour-long episode, I might have to go to 720. Let's go. It is Gutierrez down inside the 1. I think he's a solid wideout. He might never be the #1 star, but he can handle a lot of catches. And I can't wait to see his totals after this is over. Goal to go. Throwing for it. Touchdown! It is Ollie Kitchens with yet another score, putting us on the board. 9 on the season now for Kitchens, a career high. Fun start here in Cincinnati, as Russell Parks helps them get a 1st down. And with the 1st quarter coming to an end, they do get across the 50. Trey Richard, 14 yards, picks up 9 on the ground. I think he's our top priority today, and it's not starting out too well for us. And the Bengals will get the touchdown to Joseph. Joey Spencer for another big catch, this one for 21. But on 3rd and 9, we stall after the big play, and it goes back to Cincinnati. There's Howard Iwabima getting an 8-yard loss. And on 3rd and 12, knocked away by Wallace. Ooh, a 71-yard punt. Puts him one more possession here. Samuda 3 yards, 5 for Everett McKay. A loss now. 22 to Gutierrez. Can we take this lead? A drop for Samuda. 16 to Young. The drive continues on. We'll pick up 10 more. And from inside the 5, it's another Kitchens score and a double-digit touchdown season. Cincinnati now trailing by 7, trying to get a 2-minute drill together. And Parks on the outside finds Walker Onobun. And that is a gain of 9. Not sure what number Joseph wears, as Parks is going long with this one. And inside the 40 with good speed, all the way to the 31. Who made that play? Was that House? He has speed for sure. That was Joseph right there. Wow, faster than I remember. That's a catch underneath. Joseph was never that fast. Trying to tie this game up. Parks, that is in traffic and knocked away by the great Ahmad Burns. It'd be nice if they at least put the name under the ball carrier in these instances. I have to really know my numbers to get these right. Here's Parks, and it's caught. Inside the 20, or maybe losing some of that ground. I think that was House. And wow, that loss of forward progress just cost him this drive. That will play into the second half with Arizona up 4, 2 backs in the game. Everett McKay, number 34, checks in. And here we go, J-Dub. Going downfield, caught by Young. Gain of 15. We've been pretty one-dimensional today. Samuda not doing much on the ground, so 3rd and 4. Looks like a safety's headed our way. Unger firing to his right and on target. This time it's Joey Spencer. Here's Unger on 2nd down. There's some room underneath now. A nice pickup for Bradley Young. Jared Goff, 4 interceptions in this latest game. I wonder if that's the last of his career. Spencer now moving the chains on the crossing pattern. Again this year, nobody else from our division made the playoffs, despite some good starts. It was a 3-team battle for a while. The Rams, though, really had a bad second half of the season. From the 24, Samuda got a crease there, but is taken down after a short pickup. Green Bay's going back to the playoffs, it would appear. 10 wins on the season. Meanwhile, Arizona going on the quick strike. Again, caught Joey Spencer. New set of downs, working from the 12. This is caught, and Kitchens denied at the 2. Could we see another Kitchens score? If we do, another episode is coming your way tomorrow. But I don't know if we're throwing from this look. But we did last time. And this time we'll run. And McKay is stopped behind the line and hurt. Grabbing at his left shoulder. Or arm. Wait, then he switched to his right. I don't know which one's hurt. Right wrist. Alright, so he'll go into the locker room. And that means we could see Sergio offered a little bit more. 3rd down now. From the 1. Kitchens is aligned to the right of the formation. 3rd down. Unger set to throw. Pressured as he dumps it. Samuda doesn't get in. But that means Kitchens could score on the next play. 2 receivers right, 2 tight ends left. It could be anything here, but I'm guessing dive. It is, and we lose 3 yards. Are we going to try the toss this time? We will not. Kitchens is covered, and the touchdown is hauled in by Bradley Young, extending this Arizona lead. Good game going here for Arizona, and Craig Starks just got a pick 6. Oh, man. After trading Trenton Barton, I needed that. I could use a couple more. 13 to Trey Richard. And Cincinnati trailing by a ton now. It is a 20-yarder to DeAndre House. And the 3rd quarter will close with them failing to move the chains. They did get some points there. So now a 15-point game for Arizona. If we get close, I might get us back on the field. Samuda gets 20. He can produce in the passing game when he gets the chance anyway. He wasn't when Lemon was still here. Kitchens for 11. Gutierrez. All right. Could we see Kitchens score again? Here's that offset look once more. 1st and goal. It's a fake to Samuda. And a dump off. That doesn't net much. 2 receivers top. Run to Samuda. And despite despite making a good decision to run right, he's stuffed. And that makes it third down. I know you're not a fan of this formation. It's not advantageous for Ollie Kitchens. It is third down and goal from 3. Holly, you're the motion man. And here we go. Touchdown, Ollie Kitchens, number 3. And that means the playoff episode to come, division round matchup, whoever it's against, will be tomorrow. Kitchens did get it done. Not bad. I was hoping to make episode 100 a special one, and I think it's been great. Obviously, it began by trading away a fan favorite and one of my favorite players in the series. But for us to be able to still play really well, be going back to the postseason, get the Ollie Kitchens touchdown incentive, I think this is a solid episode right here. I hope you had a good time. I know sometimes the off seasons make it seem like I don't know what I'm doing, and occasionally, you know, I don't make the right decisions. That is a touchdown for Ono Bun. But overall, it's a really fun series. Thank you for being a part of it. It would not be this much fun if it were not for your involvement in the comments and helping steer the direction of certain decisions, because you definitely have an impact. And we just got another victory, and we are the #1 seeds in the NFC. I don't think that many would have thought that to be possible entering today's episode. Especially trading Jason Lemon, that should have made it less likely for a team that I thought was borderline a playoff team. Turns out we're still pretty good. 4 touchdowns, no picks for J.W. Unger. That's how you close a season. Couldn't run the ball too well in this game, but we made up for it in the passing game thanks to Kitchens cooking up the touchdowns. Once again, no game for us on Wild Card Weekend, but there are some awards to check out apparently. Bryson Anthony is the NFL MVP, and we had an amazing game in our head-to-head against Chicago. That is the reason we won the #1 seed. But for awards, Anthony, Offensive Player of the Year. Ahmad Burns is named Defensive Player of the Year with Aaron Howell just 2 places behind him. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Doral Collins from the Rams. Not good news for us. Joey Spencer came in 3rd. Defensive Rookie of the Year is George Mallard from the Saints. Best quarterback is Anthony. Running back is Trey Walker. Receiver Jarek Payne. Offensive lineman Raymond Snyder. Philip Stork. Salisbury was up there this season. Ahmad Burns. Aaron Howell. Ryan Schroeder, the best kicker. And the AFC awards with the Patriots back on top of the conference for the first time in a really long time. And Benjamin Cody's been their quarterback for a very long stretch of seasons. And I don't know what took so long for the Patriots to be good again. But here they are. Tomorrow in episode 101, we'll take on the New Orleans Saints, a familiar playoff foe for us, in the second round of the NFC playoffs. We'll also do all this upgrading. We have some on offense and a few to spend defensively as well. The New Orleans Saints team, though, they're really just the same team they've been for a long time. They have Charles Brenner, they have Deion Finney, they probably still have Devon Del Greco. I don't expect much to be different with them. But here in the wild card round, Miami over Denver. We had Washington over Tampa 28-7, Houston over KC, and New Orleans defeating Green Bay, leaving these 8 teams in the postseason. Notice the Titans did not make it after acquiring Jason Lemon. And here is the New Orleans box score as they beat the Packers with 2 touchdowns from Charles Brenner on 38 attempts. They ran the ball for 4.6 a carry. Adrian Turner had a really good game for Green Bay. And then throwing, Devon Del Greco, Cedric Chamberlain. I feel like they've had this offense for a very long time. James Lobato, he was definitely on our team. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to remember me saying that he could start somewhere, but not here. Because at the time we had McAllister and Kitchens, he just didn't fit Maybe I was saying that about a different tight end, Dawson Jordan. But James Lobato, I remember him being a 4 or 5 tight end on our depth chart. And now for the Saints, he's a 75 overall, their top guy. He does have some good speed to go vertical up the seam, but the hands are very inconsistent. Devon Del Greco's a 99, by the way, so the best receiver in our league will be facing us next time. That's not a fun matchup for us. But, oh, we're not done. I have to check stats. I have to go season stats first. Fun episode, everybody. Thank you all for being a part of it. I really do appreciate it. We had the 13th best offense, 14th defense. In terms of yardage, how about points? Number 2 offense and number 14 defense. I'll take it. But passing, J.W. Unger, 40 touchdowns. I believe a career high for the elite quarterback, J.W. Unger. Indeed, a career high season with a career low in yards. Duran Samuda did not have a great season, but next year is the one I'm really going to be critical of his performance. I'm hoping he takes it to the next level. In the air, Brian Gutierrez nearly led us in yards. Just 2 behind Bradley Young, who did log 10 touchdowns. Kitchens had 11, Gutierrez 8, Spencer 3. He really picked up his production in the second half of the year. And then 6 touchdowns on 15 catches for Earl Zoe Hollier. Pretty cool. Unfortunately, we never got to watch a big Trey Brackenridge moment, but the postseason is still to come. Don't forget about that. I kinda did for a moment. Turner Dye allowed 7 sacks. Jamerson Williams, just 1. I wonder if we should replace Dye next year, save some money, and then start Rashawn Morton instead. That would probably lead to increased sacks on Unger, but maybe not too many. Ahmad Burns had 120 tackles this year, 4 interceptions. Our leading sack producer was Jarvis Salisbury, Iwabima behind him, and then Vaughn with a career-high 6.5. We have a good team still. I know we lost a lot, but I think we had a number of players step up this season. Good job by those receivers contributing as much as they did. Still a 12-4 team and still a chance to go claim another Lombardi trophy. So with that, everybody, episode 100 is complete. Leave your feedback on it down below in the comment section, and I'll be seeing you again soon with episode 101. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and there's still much more to come in this series. I'll see you soon. In future, Kane wants you to have a great day.